Hello everyone, welcome to today's class. In today's class, we'll be taking a look at typography of graphic design. First off, we'll look into definition of some concepts, and the first one is graphic design. Graphic design is formed from two concepts, graphic and design. Graphic means visual, which connotes art, imagination, expression, etc. It involves many mediums such as drawing, painting, engraving, and lettering. It, it is giving clear and explicit detail. And the visual elements that combine to create graphic design are line, color, shape, texture, space, form, and typography. We artistically combine these elements to convey an idea. Design, on the other hand, is to decide upon the look and function of something before it is made. It connotes thinking, it connotes problem solving, it connotes practicality, etc. In design, there are rules that we must consider in order to produce meaningful and beautiful work. That is, for the work to also be functional, also for it to be very much practical and to be very much communicative. There are rules and guidelines we follow called the principle of design. These principles are always interwoven and appear in every good design we see. When a student understands this principle and apply them correctly, it will give substance to their work. The key principles of design are contrast, hierarchy, alignment, balance, proximity, repetition, simplicity, and function. Thus, visual elements, that is graphic design plus design principles, equals to graphic design. Now, it is also good to note that graphic design is not about making something look pretty, but the organization and presentation of information developed through a creative process for a particular function is what graphic design is. Let me take that again. Graphic design is not about making something pretty. Rather, it is the organization and presentation. That is, we organize and we also present information developed through creative process for a particular function. Subsequently, we shall be focusing on typography in this lesson, which is one of the visual elements of design. Typography is the art or technique of arranging types to make written language more communicative or appealing. Key terminology we should be very much aware of. I've just broken them down to this that we find here. There are plenty of other once you look into. There are people that they have PhD. This is what they study, anatomy of typography. So if you want to have more information, you can Google that. You can like check that out in the net. Now the first terminology I want us to learn here is called serif. Serif is a short line, as you can see there. Is a short line added at the beginning of a stroke or also at the ending of a stroke. The one we have is the one at the T there, that line there. As you can see, there is one at the bottom of the T and also the one at the top of the T there. Just that short line, that short line at the beginning or at the end of the T is called and this you also find in the in the in the Y, in the P, in the H also. Another key term we need to learn is sans serif. Now, sans serif, sans, well, all of this is actually, they're all French word. Now, sans starts means without. That is, you are saying without serif. As you can see, the A there, it doesn't have that, the short line that the T has, or the short line that plenty of the um, letters of the one down has. Now, the one down, the one we use, the font we use to spell typography is what we call serif. And the key element in serif is what you just highlighted. That short line added at the beginning or the end of each letter. Then the next thing we need to learn is the baseline. The baseline is the line upon which most letters sit, which, as you can see there, the anatomy, right, is sitting on that, is what every other thing sits. The anatomy sits. So baseline is the line upon which most letters sit. Ascender, an ascender is a vertical stroke that extends upward over the X height. Now, that brings us to the X height. X height is measures of height of all lowercase letters that are part of the same typeface. It is called X height because the letter X of each typeface is what determines the measurement. Then the descender is a vertical stroke that extends downwards below the X height. Now, kerning refers to the space between two letters or characters. Tracking is a space between all letters in a word. So you can say, let's say the F, G, H, I, J, K. So all those letters, or let's also say the A, B, C, D, E, the letter between all of them, that's more than two, right? In a particular line, right? Let's say of a selected, let's say we have the F, G, H, I, J, K selected. So the spacing between more than, because they are more than two now, right? So it's the tracking, the spacing between them. But for the kerning, it's just the spacing between the D and the E. The leading is a vertical space between the lines of continuous text. That's, let's say, this A, B, C, D, E, right, is on top. Like, let's say when we are writing, we now broke it. We broke it and put it on that line. We put F, G, H, I, J, K in another line. So the space now between the upper line and the lower line now is called leading.